Good evening, ham radio operators. Welcome to the Weekend Wind Down Net. This is Ernesto, KI5PZN, using the 224-100 repeater, tone 100.
And this is Mireya, KI5SYX, using the 441.325 repeater, tone 97.4. And we'll be your net controllers for this evening.
This net is also linked to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. If you're listening through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8. You can also reach us via Echolink by connecting to KA5D-R or N5OAK-R. For All-Star access, use node 409er33 or 51444.
The Weekend Wind Down is a RAC2net. We get together on Sunday nights to talk about the weekend. It's likely that most of us look forward to the 2 days out of the week when we can actually spend time doing things we like, or relaxing and spending time with others. Did you work on a project? Ham or not? Did you have a cookout, watch a great movie, or were you stuck catching up on chores? Again, ham-related or not, tell us, was your weekend a blast or a bust?
Please note, this is a directed net, so please refer all calls to net control. We will not have any scheduled pauses for emergency traffic, but we will yield the air to any break-in emergency. With that in mind, please leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. We're using the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Big thanks to Kyle, KA5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club for letting us use their system for this net. Please visit the University Link repeater system's website to learn more. That's KA5D.com. To learn more about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, including how to become a member, go to N5OAK.org.
And to start out this weekend Wind Down Net, this week we are introducing a brand new segment we like to call Discord Dish, where we serve up our favorite Discord posts from the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Discord channel. To start out this very first Discord Dish segment, we've selected a post that is a little bit old. Usually you'll hear posts from this past week, but since this is the first Discord Dish segment, we've decided to go a little bit in the past and select one that had a lot of interest. It was posted on July 26th. It's shared by George, K5TR, on the podcast channel on Discord. And on July 26th, the podcast called QSO Today, on episode number 255 that George posted, there is a fabulous interview with Rod, W5NDS. You have got to check this out. For 1 whole hour, Rod shares many life experiences, everything from childhood through today, and he really goes into a lot of great detail in conversations of a very richly lived life. and he's just getting started. So go on to Discord, look for the podcast on July 26th, hosted by George, K5TR.
Also on Discord, and this is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Discord server that we're referring to. On the 3rd of August, so this was this week, shared by Rusty, WZ5EBS, on the announcement channel, James, KI5UXW, participated and made a presentation at the NASA SEES Science Symposium. They're working on predicting mosquito-borne disease and using AMEA sensor-/radio network to transmit the data collected. I believe that's what I understood, but I am not that smart. But that was pretty interesting, seeing that. I believe also that James is 17 years old. He's in high school, so it's pretty cool, really nice. If you get a chance, go ahead also and check it out. Click on that. It's it'll take you to the YouTube video, the presentation. Really nice. Let me let it reset. And today we had celebrity spotting on 11 meter. Ray K5BZI heard Dr. Dre on channel 6 today. That's on 11 meter. We're talking about 11 meter. And also you should check the antenna channel to see Ray's new setup, his antenna. He got I guess a new it's just, I guess, I don't know if it was the rearrangement of the antennas, if you got new antennas up there, but it looks pretty neat. So it has a couple of pictures up there, and you should go and check them out.
Man, this discourse dish was very exciting. 4 shout-outs to the radio operators participating this week. One note about James's participation in that school project. It is a 4-hour symposium. These kids are really on top of it. They're talking about NASA missions and using radios to and the sensors to help with real life conditions on planet Earth. So, man, these kids are really ahead of the time. They're going to be incredible scientists in the future. And look for James's contribution. It's on hour number 2, minute number 59. So if you want to go straight to James's session, it's hour 2, minute 59 to check out our radio here on that presentation. So let's get Discord posts, because we're going to be looking through them all this week and listen to see if we give you a shout out on the next Discord dish.
All right, that was really exciting. I had a good time. Let me do a station ID. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, from the 224.100 repeater, tone 100.
And Bidea, KI5SYX, from the 441.325 repeater, tone 97.4. On Sunday nights at 7:30 via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system.
So, Mireya, this net is called the Weekend Wind Down for a reason. How was your weekend?
Well, Ernesto, I had a very exciting start to the weekend. I was a guest running this week's Friday Night Trivia Net at 9 o'clock. And Rusty, WZ5BBS, usually runs that net in a very successful and smooth manner every Friday night. We usually have anywhere from 18 participants. We've seen as many as 30 in the past, so it's a very fun net. Test your knowledge of everything, and of course you get to rag on everybody else and be very disappointed when you bet all your points and then end up with zero after being on top. So it's a really fun net. You guys should totally check it out if you haven't participated yet in a Friday night net trivia. And it was more difficult than we thought. Ernesto was doing the buttons and the levers on the computer, and I was trying my best to read those questions and make it exciting. So that's how I started the weekend. A little bit nerve-wracking, but then I warmed up towards the end. Everyone was very gracious and understood that we were helping Rusty so he could take a well-deserved vacation from running the net for over a year all by himself. So next week, on Friday night at 9 o'clock, don't miss the Mireya and Ernesto Friday night net trivia net, and it's going to be a one-time thing. Hopefully Rusty gets back so he can run his net again, and should be a pretty good time with probably mistakes, but we'll get through it. The rest of the weekend was very relaxing. After 4 weeks of no relaxation, traveling, and then being ill, it was very nice to have a weekend where there wasn't anything going on, and I could catch up on a couple of rom-coms and a mystery or two on Netflix. So, and now I am running this net and introducing our very first segment of the Discord Dish, which was very fun, and we are excited to include that in our new segment. So that's me, Ernesto. How about you? How was your weekend?
AI5PZN. Well, weekend started with the Friday night trivia net, and I got to tell you, when I walked in and saw the software that is used to run that net, my jaw just dropped to the floor because that did not look easy. I was expecting a couple of buttons here and there, and you move on, and a couple of more buttons here and there, but that was not the case. So I looked at it and immediately went into a mental block, and I just couldn't understand what I was looking at. Finally asked Rusty to run one where I was doing pressing the buttons, and he will tell me which buttons to press while he was talking. And I broke a sweat. That thing was so hard. It's really hard, and I'm hoping that this coming Friday, that we can get through the end, because I still have issues with the transitions. Let me let it reset. But I still have issues with the transitions from one round to the other and those things. That was really hard. Bunch of buttons and bunch of tabs. But we should be practicing a little bit this week so that we could do an okay Friday night trivia net on Friday. But don't be surprised if halfway through the entire thing goes through hell. But we'll do our best. That was fun. It was a lot of fun. Just I was not expecting the complexity of the controls. So that Rusty dude deserves a huge beer when he comes back. If you see him, buy him beer, because that guy has been working his hiney off running that net. And you need a couple of screens, by the way. So it's like literally, I think, as complex as flying a helicopter. I'm kidding, obviously. And then let's see, Saturday morning. Let it reset. I went to the Austin Amateur Radio Club breakfast. I try to go every Saturday. That's at 8 p.m. on Waterloo and North Burnett, near 183. A couple of weeks that I have issues and couldn't make it, but was glad to make it there, see my friends. And then after that, I went out and hunt for AC5G Fox was out this weekend and found it. Took me about an hour or so to find it. I didn't use the directional antenna. I just used the truck's radio, and then just the HD when I went out and knew that I was really close to it. Saw a couple of interesting characters, but nothing that's worth sharing here over the repeater. But it was fun. I had a great time, and then chilling for the remaining of the weekend. I checked into a couple of nets, including the 10-meter net we bought this afternoon, and now running this awesome net. So I would say the weekend was a blast. I can't complain. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Ernesto, sounds like you had a pretty fun weekend. And I always wonder, people may not know who shows up to those Saturday morning 8 a.m. breakfasts with the other club. So what characters would someone expect if they wake up early on Saturday morning and actually join them at Waterloo on North Burnett?
Well, at this point, I've been going to those breakfasts for over a year, try to go every week, and there's a little bit of everything. And the funny thing at this point, it's like a hybrid between a couple of clubs, because I see people from the Oak Hill there, I see the Austin Amateur. Well, I guess we all belong to more than one club, so that's what happens. There's just a bunch of people. Usually, they're each table have a different theme or thing going on. You'll see the Aries table, then you see other guys talking about straight up, radios and technology and whatever, and then you see the table where I usually sit. We just joke around the entire time, so there's nothing. Just joke around. A little bit of everything. It's I guess once you get there, you'll find plenty of different flavors to choose from within the ham service, so there's a table for everyone there, and people are very, very friendly, and those guys have so much knowledge. It's like going to a seminar every Saturday on ham radio. So I really recommend it. I know 8 a.m. is not for everyone, but I get up early, so I enjoy it. Back to you, Mireya.
I went to one of these Saturday morning breakfasts, and I was a little bit nervous because I'm a new operator and I'm only a technician. But let me tell you, there are other technicians there that have been technicians for 20 years, 30 years. These guys are going to teach you so much, and very funny stories, super great diversity in backgrounds, engineers, who else? Scientists. We even met someone that his sole job is to help attorneys either prove or disprove cases for actual trials. So what was that? He's like a mythbuster. So someone has a claim, a legal claim, and he's hired by the attorneys to actually prove it or disprove it with science. So those are the kinds of guys that you're going to meet, guys and gals, that you're going to meet out there. So I really encourage you guys to try to make it out there, especially if you're a new operator like me. You are going to be welcome, and you're going to learn a lot. So get up on Saturday mornings and make it out there at one time. Back to you, Ernesto.
Well, it sounds like we both have a pretty good weekend, but I'm curious. I wonder how everybody else's weekend went. Let's call for check-ins, but let me do a station ID real quick. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, AI5PZN, from the 224.100 repeater, tone 100.
And Mireya, KI5SYX, from the 441.325 repeater, tone 97.4. On Sunday nights at 7:30 via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system.
All right. Any licensed operator is welcome to check in. Please come in with your call sign and name.
This is Kilo 5 Bravo Zulu India K5BZI.
This is KI5MVF, Jeffrey in South Austin.
This is KB5MPJ, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike Papa Juliet, Jason and Buda.
This is Alpha Charlie 5 Golf, Philip in East Austin.
All right. Got 4 people checked in. Let's go and check with Ray, K5BZI. Ray, what's going on, man? How's life treating you?
Hello, guys. Ernesto and Maria, good to hear you. Great net as always. Life's treating me good, man. I've been on the tower all weekend. I think I got a pretty decent tan by now. I did a complete revamp of all my VHF, UHF stuff. Got a new to me 6-meter beam, a brand new Arrow 2-meter Yagi, and a GP9, a Comet GP9 on top. And I actually installed a point pan tilt zoom camera while I was up there, and I'm playing with that on the video channel Discord right now. But yeah, tired, dude. I've been up there. I've probably climbed that tower up and down about a dozen times this weekend, so I'm a little wore out. Back to net, K5BZI.
Oh, right on, dude. I was wondering because I saw the pictures on Discord, and I figured that there was some rearrangement, but I wasn't sure what was the exact thing. So I'm glad to hear there are new additions to the collection and that you are climbing up and down. That's going to give you buns of steel. Dude, that's pretty cool, dude. Did you get to do any fox hunting this weekend?
No, man. I've been on the tower all weekend, so yeah, didn't, like I say, just now. In fact, I'm not quite done. I'm waiting on my wife to get off the phone so she can help me pull a rope through the trees. But anyway, yeah, no fox hunting for me this weekend.
Well, right on, dude. I'm sure she was happy to go out in the heat to help you out with that, but I'm sure in a way, because I'll keep you quiet for a while, so it's worth the investment. Let me pass it to Mireya real quick.
You know, I always am so impressed by everyone's hard work with the antennas. Everyone has their setup and make decisions on which antenna they're going to select, where it's going to go, how they're going to design it. Ernesto has a whole book on antennas. And so, I don't know, it continues to seem very complicated to someone like me. And then I learned that there's something called a super antenna. It's one pole, it's standing on 3 legs, and the way that you set it up for each band is by height. And you have a very nifty, groovy little table that tells you how high to put it to go to the bands that you want. If it were me, I'm a little bit spoiled because I get to piggyback off Ernesto's antennas that he set up as a newbie operator. He says he would do it differently maybe this time round. I definitely learned that if I was going to set it up, I'd just go with one antenna and maybe one more to hop onto a tree. So I would have a total of 2. But I do get it. You guys are very creative and want to do your own thing and have different reasons to set up those antennas. So kudos to you for working hard this weekend in the heat to get your setup going, Ray.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a little hot. Yesterday I got most of it done Friday afternoon. Well, not most of it. I got it about a third of the way done Friday afternoon, and then took a break yesterday and then finished up today. But yeah, it's all done, except for one little thing, and I'm very, very pleased with the way it turned out.
Hey, Ray, did you say that you installed a camera up there in the tower, or you were just carrying it while you were doing the work and you took it down? Just curious.
No, I've got a pan tilt zoom camera up there. I'm playing with it on the video channel on Discord right now.
Pretty cool, dude. I like that. I'll have to check it out. a little bit later, man. You have anything else for the net, man?
3 connected.
That's all I got. That's all I've been doing this weekend.
8 1
Yeah.
1
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch y'all later. 73 K5BZI.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you checking into the net. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Ray? Come in with your call sign, Nate.
AI5MVF.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Ray, I'm enjoying the show and tell on Discord currently. I'd like to make a request and see if you can pan up and show the new antenna you put up on top. Would be pretty cool. But it's cool to sit here and watch, and that's an awesome idea that I would definitely consider doing in the future. Sorry that I couldn't make it out there this weekend to help you, but glad you got it all wrapped up. And I did see I think I saw your 80 meters I pulled hung up there, and so I'm glad you got all that work done. Glad to see it come into fruition. I feel like we've been talking about it for a while. KI5 and VS, back to net.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the kudos there. Yeah, it's all good. I got her done. What I'm pointing to on the video right now is the Pinnacle building in Oak Hill. That's what it is. That's visible from the tower, and so just to the right of it would be the Oak Tower, one of the sticks sticking up in the distance. But that big block right there is the Pinnacle campus.
All right. Well, Ray, I appreciate you checking in. Thanks for coming and talking to us today. We hope to hear you again next week. But we'll talk to you this week, I'm sure, in one of the nets. Thanks again for checking in, man. We'll talk to you soon. Let's go now and check with Jeffrey, KI5MVF. Jeffrey, how's life treating you, man?
Oh, it's been busy. Those of you that know, I work at a school. It has been school startup season. School starts in about a week and a half from now, and it's been a little bit crazy there. So I've been working long days and worked a little bit yesterday, but getting things taken care of and ready for students to show up soon. Outside of that, we got Ashley all moved into her new apartment, so luckily we got some movers for that, and so we didn't have to carry everything up 3 flights of stairs, but got it all done. Some hard work still there this weekend, and then some fox hunting. Made some time for that, and luckily it was a successful trip this time compared to our trip last weekend. We found Phillips AC5G Fox in probably less than an hour after we picked up that attenuator from you, Ernesto. But this is KI5MVF, back to the net.
All right, dude. Well, glad that nobody broke its back moving anything. That's always a plus. And yeah, moves are pain in the hiney. Also, glad that wasn't raining when that was happening, because that's also another curse when you're moving. Rain, tends to show up usually those days. So glad you guys didn't have to deal with that. And I heard you found the fox. What do you think about the? I'm gonna have Philip also checking in shortly and talking about it. But what's your thoughts on this one?
It was a good one. He's pretty good at picking up on good parks to put them in and just tucking them close, probably usually to a tree, it seems like, and easy to get to, and just good straightforward fox hunts as soon as you can hear the signal. I will say that's the one thing with those tiny little antennas is they don't get out super far, and so you kind of have to start getting close to it. But once you're close to it, you can hone in on it. So So it was a good hunt, and I'm enjoying him hosting them regularly as well. And also glad you got a new battery in yours. So looking forward to putting that to use soon.
Yeah, dude, I still have to put it on the Fox and give it a good juiced up and see how long it lasts. This is a new one because I know I can't only use it once, so it should be good for at least half a year again. Six good months like the other one. This fox hunt was pretty good too. I guess I took advantage of the nice weather, and I went in on Saturday morning, so the temperature was very nice and breezy, and it felt really good. So I had a good time. I didn't even break a sweat because I was all the time in the shades, and it was fun. I had a good time, and I drove around quite a bit looking for it, but once I heard it, I was able to get in pretty decently quickly, I guess I should say. But it was perfect, I guess perfect play. It wasn't too crazy hard, but it wasn't easy either, so it got me driving around a little bit. But it was a good fox hunt. Like you said, yeah, that little antenna. By the time you hear it, you're there. So it's one of those things that it gets it's a little bit harder to find, but once you hear it, it's a little bit easier than the others to find, I guess, because it's such a low, I guess, power. I shouldn't say power, just the small antenna. But yeah, dude, glad you get to play this weekend a little bit. I know you have to work, but I'm glad you got to play.
Yep, gotta sneak it in where you can. But yeah, that's all I've got tonight. So I'll send it back to you. Thank you guys for hosting another wonderful net. AI5MVF.
All right, Jeffrey, appreciate you checking in as usual. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Jeffrey? If so, please call in with your call sign and name. All right, nothing heard. Thanks again, Jeffrey, for checking in, and we'll talk to you soon. Let me do a station ID, and this is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, AI5PZN, from the 224-100 repeater, tone 100.
And Mireya, KI5SYX, from the 441.325 repeater, tone 97.4, on Sunday nights, 7:30, via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system.
All right, well, let's go now and check with Jason, KB5FPJ. Jason, what's going on, man? How's life treating you?
KB5MPJ. Pretty good, Ernesto. Well, let's see. So, back on Wednesday, I know it's not the weekend, but you remember that I went over to Ray's and he helped me get into this President Lincoln 11-meter radio. And I know you and I weren't able to make contact from his house, but I was able to talk to Ray all the way home. Stuck it in my Jeep on the way home, and we were able to talk all the way from his house, for me to make it all the way back to my house on AM, FM, and SSB. So that was pretty cool. Got it hooked up this weekend, so we'll let it drop. Made some contacts on it on SSB over on Saturday. Made one to Arizona, Nebraska. Forget where else. Right before this net, I made a contact to Virginia. Right at about 7:25. So that's working pretty well, and having fun with that. Let's see. Friday played trivia. It was good to hear Ernesto and Maria doing the trivia net. I didn't do any good at trivia as usual. Might have done a little bit better if I didn't bet my points. But I never know what to do because if you never bet it, you'll never win the trivia round, and if you miss one question, then you lose all of it. But so I lost all my points.
Saturday, we did the 11 meter stuff. Then at night, I made some 20 meter DX contacts. Band was pretty good. I made a contact to Slovakia and Lithuania, and we got rid of some RFI in the shack. Fixed a problem with some Ethernet cables, and then today went and had pizza with a friend. So good weekend overall. Back to net control.
All right, Jason, that's pretty awesome to hear. Sounds like a really good weekend. Yeah, the Lincoln, I don't know what happened that day that we're trying. Who knows? But yeah, I know the sideband's been pretty active. I mean, all of them. I remember Saturday I turned it on for a little bit, and it was super, super busy on 38 lower sideband. But at that time when I heard it so busy, I figured that 10 meter was really busy, so I turned off that and went to 10 meter, and I did a bunch of QSOs on 10 meter because I really dig that one too. But yeah, I know, man, it's pretty awesome. I hear on 11 meters, I hear Arizona come in all the time. And there's a guy that comes in every once in a while from Anchorage, Alaska. And his name is Uncle Ernie. And he's probably pushing thousands of watts. That's because you can hear him here like he's a local. And he's on 38, coming flat. But people from the East Coast and all over Florida, below the 5 on the 400s, I think, between 300 and 400, you'll hear Central America and sometimes like the northern part of South America. I've heard them talking too. So it gets pretty busy. Let it reset for a second. I hear also people from the East Coast talking to people in like UK, in Europe on 11 meters. Well, obviously sideband. It's pretty wild. It stays busy, and I know that people still make fun of it, but it's not what it used to be in the 80s and 70s with a bunch of people talking craziness. It's mostly DX and people just being cool. And like everywhere else, you'll find trolls on 11 meters, and you'll find trolls and repeaters and everywhere. So it's just the nature of humans. But in my opinion, it's really entertaining, and it's just another flavor of radio. So I'm not, I like it. Period. I like of radio. So I'm glad you got that going on, and let it reset again. Yeah, and on the DX on 20 meters, 20 meters been open till really late. I've stayed sometimes close to midnight, and you can hear Europe and all kinds of places. And when the band is working out, it's really nice. I really dig it. I'm glad you get to do that. It's pretty busy as well. And the pizza, man, that you can never go wrong. So I'm glad that's happening, man. I'm glad that you had a weekend overall.
Yeah, Ernesto, I think I've heard the Anchorage guy that you were talking about. The guy who says he's in downtown Anchorage. I've tried to talk back to him and never been able to reach him. I didn't hear where you said you were here in the South America. What frequency was that?
That's a little bit below the 555, the 27555. I would say between 27.3 something, and you might find it in the 200, but 27.300 through the 27.555, and there you have to switch from lower sideband to upper sideband because there are no rules, and they just each pick whatever they want. So you have to be checking between lower and upper. But you'll hear some conversations in from South America and all over the U.S. I haven't heard anything yet from the Pacific, but I've heard people from the West Coast talking to Australia on 11 meters. So that's pretty wild too. Back to you.
Yeah, I might have heard some of those because I've heard people speaking Spanish on kind of the what they call the free band, especially on the upper, above channel 40. But so maybe I just didn't know where they were from because I don't speak very much Spanish. But I have definitely heard some Spanish on there. I thought I did hear somebody say Costa Rica, so maybe that's where they were. And let's see, I've heard people on AM down below channel 1, but I've so far stayed off of those, no man's frequencies, even though, probably doesn't really matter. I've just listened. But, yeah, sometime we may have to see if we can reach each other from my QTH to yours. I know we couldn't from Ray's the other night, but maybe when the band's a little more active, maybe we can reach from Buda, up to your place. I need to try to get rid of some RF interference. I fixed one problem, but I think there's some just general noise in the neighborhood, so I may see if I can get a deal to phase it out. Maybe try to experiment with that and see how that works.
Yeah, dude, I'm open to it because I would like to check to see. It's kind of weird. Sometimes I get to talk to people far away. Sometimes, people close to me, I can't. It goes all over the place. Same thing from the truck as well. But we can check, man. We can definitely check and give it a try because I would like to see. We should be able to. I don't see why not. But I will just, I guess ping me on Discord, or I think you might even have my phone. If not, I'll send you my phone number so you can have that, and we can coordinate and try it and see if we can try all of those, upper and lower, and we can go up to the triple nickel and see if we can talk up there in the 555 too, man. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, let's check it out sometime. And because sometimes now that I've discovered that there's a fair amount of noise, it seems like it's basically from, probably about 12 meters and up. It's kind of bad, like all the way up to, 29 megahertz. So if I can get rid of some of the noise, I wonder if that would help me with, especially with the local contacts. I think sometimes the Austin 10-meter guys can hear me and I can't hear them, and I think the noise may be covering them up, but it's just something I can work on over the next whenever I have time, see if I can improve that. But otherwise we might as well just give it a try and see how it goes.
Yeah, man, finding those interference, those noises are pain in the hiney. But yeah, just shoot me a message, man. Shoot me a message, and we'll sit down and try to make a contact. Hopefully we can make it happen, dude. Just like I said, just shoot me a message, and we should schedule something and try it.
All right, cool. Well, that's all I've got, Ernesto. So I guess I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, and let the net roll on.
All right, Jason. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Jason? If so, please call in with your call sign and name. All right. Nothing heard. Thanks again, Jason. It's always a pleasure talking to you, man. And we'll stay in touch one way or the other. Let's check now with Philip, AC5G. Philip, what's going on, man? How's life treating you?
Hey there, guys. I'm doing pretty well. Had a nice quiet weekend. Just kind of sitting around and staying in the house, staying out of the heat. Although we did have a cooler weekend, it was nice. But not a lot going on for me this weekend. Just taking it easy. No new radio stuff to report. Congrats to all the people who found the fox hunt. I put all that up on Discord. The logbook up there, and everybody but Jeffrey got a chance to sign that. He said there was a few people hovering around it, so he didn't want to go in and dig it out, which appreciate that. And congratulations to everyone on that. Other than that, that's about it. Thanks for running that, guys. Sounding great. AC5G, back to net.
Hi, Philip, and I appreciate you hosting this Fox this weekend. It was nice to get out there and do a little bit of driving. Now that it wasn't like 115 degrees, it was kind of nice. And I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I got to do it while the weather was very nice. The temperature was really cool, so it was fun. I had a great time, so I appreciate you hosting the Fox this weekend, man. Hopefully you get to play this coming weekend. I don't know if we're gonna have one this coming weekend or not, but hopefully you get to play and get to hunt the next one. And mine has a new battery now, so you shouldn't bump out before you find it, man. Back to you.
Thanks, man. Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask you, how long do you get out of that? I'm assuming it was a 4.5 amp hour battery from the sticker I saw on top. I was just wondering what your usual runtime is on your Fox with that.
When the battery was working properly, the original one that I put in, I could put that sucker out on a Friday afternoon. I remember putting it on like a 3 or 4 p.m. and going and picking it up like midday on Monday, and the Fox was still going. So it lasts quite a bit. When the battery obviously it's new, let's put it that way, and it was still working properly. But you saw what happened this last time. It didn't even last until Sunday evening. So, but usually I would say 3 full days, maybe up to 4, if the battery is in good condition. Back to you.
Sounds good. Well, looking forward to getting out there with hunting that one with a fresh battery, and hopefully it won't die on me before I can spot it. Thanks again, Ernesto and Maria, for running the net. AC5G, back to net.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate again you checking in and doing all the stuff you do for the club as well, man. Does anybody have any questions or comment for Philip? If so, please call in with your call sign and name.
AI5SYX, I have a comment for Philip and for all of the Fox players. I'd like to challenge the people that are placing the Foxes out there to see if they can place it somewhere other than parks. I know it's hard because it's public access and all that, but I wonder if people can be creative and put a little bit of a spin on this and think of places where maybe it's not a park, because I think that everyone is kind of used to the park thing. You go on your maps and look for the green, and even though it's still very challenging and you have a lot of skills to look for them, but I wonder if there are any other places that we can come up with to put Foxes on. That's just my comment. I'll just put out there into the world to you, Philip, and to everybody, not really, only to you, but that would be something interesting to see if we can come up with other places.
AC5G. Hey, Maria, AC5G here. Yes, I've definitely thought of that. And the next time that there are multiple Foxes out, I'm probably going to end up doing that. I try to keep it a little more on the easy side if there's only one out that weekend, kind of give everyone a chance and not have to go hiking too far or anything like that. But yes, that is definitely something I've thought of, and am looking to increase the difficulty level a little bit by doing something like that. AC5G, back to net.
Oh yeah, wonderful. Glad to hear that. And I know, I do realize that that everyone is trying to be super cool, so everybody can have a chance to access these Foxes. And that, yes, I agree with that. So maybe both. Man, that's going to be hard. New locations and accessible to most, if not all. So good luck to everybody thinking up those places in Central Texas.
Well, don't know about that, man, because that means that we're going to have to walk some more, and it's just like, that means we can't be hungover when we do those fuck hunting stuff. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I see what you guys are saying, and I guess in my case, for the most part, is I was just trying to find places that people have access 24/7, because we have some folks who like to go fox hunting, late at night. So that was, I guess, the main reason for picking places like that. But I guess, yeah, we could, look around and find other places that are public. Just, you might have to walk around with a shovel or get some scuba diving gear, but I guess we'll get creative. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Philip? If so, please call in with your name and call sign. All right. Nothing heard. Philip, thanks again for calling and checking into the net. It's always a pleasure talking to you, man. And we will talk to you, I'm sure, very soon. Let me do a station ID real quick. And this is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZM from the 224-100 repeater, tone 100.
And Mireya, KI5SYX from the 441.325 repeater, tone 97.4, every Sunday night at 7:30 via the University Link repeater system and the OCal Amateur Radio Club repeater system.
All right, let me make another call for check-ins. If you would like to check in to the Weekend Wind Down Net, please call out with your name and call sign.
K5JM.
KI5RBT.
All right. Got Sam and Ken, so let's go and check with Sam first. K5JM. Sam, how's life treating you, my friend?
Got some dinner tonight, so yeah, it's been a good weekend so far.
Sam, your transmission was a little bit fluttery there, and I'm not sure if I caught the entire thing. Can you come back? Sorry. I think you're making it to the repeater now. I hear the repeater going off, but I cannot hear any audio.
K5JM.
A little bit better. There's a lot of static, but I can hear you now.
Okay, Ernesto, I'm trying something else, so you should probably hear me okay now.
We're getting perfect audio, Sam.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess there's something with this mic cord. I was using my 220 radio, but I think I was kind of pulling on it, so I think I maybe pulled something loose in there. Anyways, I'll try to fix it later. But anyway, Ernesto, I was saying it's been a pretty good weekend. I would say it's definitely been a blast. Yeah, it was out Friday night downtown, and then yesterday was a good day, and then today saw a friend and grilled some food, and yeah, just been kind of enjoying the weekend, trying to stay out of the heat.
That's awesome to hear, man. Glad you got to go out on Friday and party, had a good time, and that the weekend went well. Always good seeing friends and having food. That's always a plus. and that you also stay out of the heat. I think we got a for us, kind of a cool day on Saturday, I think. I don't think it was cooler. And then we should have a few quote cooler days, I think, towards the end of this week. So, yeah, dude, I'm glad that you got out and had some fun. I'm guessing you didn't go out for a fox hunt, right? I think last time I checked you weren't into it or needed some equipment or something like that, right? Am I right? Back to you.
Oh, I have the equipment. I have a tape measure Yagi, and I have a what they call a Mark IV sniffer, and it's a really interesting attenuation device that attenuates automatically and gives you like a tone as you kind of get onto the signal. But no, I just with it being so hot out and fuel prices and everything, it hasn't really been my forte this summer. But hopefully, people will continue to maybe do some into the fall, and then I might try to snag one or two of them. But yeah, it's great to see that there's such an interest in them.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I've seen those, not in person, but I've seen those sniffers, and they're pretty cool. Yeah, they definitely are pretty fancy. I've never seen them in person, like I said, but they're pretty cool. And so I guess, yeah, there's a lot of interest, and usually almost every weekend there is a fox. But now that I know that you have one of those sniffers, when I hear that you're going out to play, you're going to have to bring a shovel. I'm kidding, Sam. But yeah, dude, I guess, yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. I guess once we start seeing nicer temperatures, I'm going to start bugging the living heck out of you. I'm kidding. But dude, that's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear that you had a good weekend.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Ernesto, and glad to hear yours went okay as well. And thanks for taking my check-in, K5JM.
Hey, Sam, it's Mireya here. I heard that you were enjoying the Austin nightlife in your check-in, and Ernesto and I have been homebodies for the past 2 years definitely. I think we lost a little bit of touch on what the cool places to go. Where would you recommend? Let's say Ernesto and I are going to go on a date night, and we don't want to be near the club kids, and maybe not so much college kids either. You're out and about doing cool things in Austin, Texas. Where would you recommend us having our next date night?
Yeah, great question. Well, there's a couple of places I can think of that have a nice view. I was on a date at the Hotel Zaza. There's a rooftop bar and pool, and so we were up there. That's off of down near 4th Street, so kind of right in the middle of everything. But another interesting place with a nice view is kind of like open air bar and food and stuff. If that's more, if you want something a little more casual. The JW Marriott, the Marriott has a rooftop bar as well. And so when the sun starts going down, you get a little bit of a breeze. You can see the skyline. It's kind of nice. So happy to send you some links to those if you think maybe that would be your thing. Definitely not so much the club kids or anything. It's a little more upscale. And probably don't want to take Ernesto's ride with the big whip antennas. That will probably get ground down into a nub if you can try to go in the parking garage.
Well, those two sound like great outings. Marriott may be more our style, too. We're a little bit more laid back over here, so that's a great recommendation. I think we'll put that on our list. And look, if Ernesto put that big antenna, I was going to say something other than big antenna, that big antenna on his truck, then he's willing to have it live where we live. And if I want to go to the Marriott, man, he's going to have to just make it work. Thanks, Sam. Have a great night.
Okay, Maria. Yeah, thanks for asking, and yeah, happy to be of help. K5JM.
Hi, Sam. It's always nice talking to you. Let me call out and see if anybody have any questions or comments for Sam. If so, please call now with your name and call sign.
AI5A portable.
Go ahead.
Hey, Sam, my question to you is, when are we hanging out again?
Well, hey, Rick, if you're a glutton for punishment, yeah, we'll have to do it soon, and then you can help me with some projects, so some ham radio stuff.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, I had a lot of fun last time, so definitely up for that. Good to hear you in there. So I figured I'd jump in and give a shout. AI5A, back to net.
Hi, Rick. Thanks for calling in and talking to us and Sam. I hope to hear you often around here too, man. Well, thank you, Sam, for checking in as usual. And let's go now and check with Ken, AI5RBT. Ken, what's going on, my friend? How's life treating you?
Everything's going pretty good. I'm really not looking forward to going back to work today or tomorrow. I was looking at my territory map, and it looks like I've got 28 states to cover as a sales engineer solo, so I was thinking about calling in sick for the rest of the week so I can avoid what's going to ultimately be happening. But yeah, Ben got back into town about an hour ago, so hopefully I'll have my fox hunting buddy back next weekend, and we can go out and do some cool stuff. AI5RBT.
All right, dude. Yeah, I know. Getting back to work, whether you have, time off or not, Mondays are just tough. I have a tough time with Mondays, but it comes with the package of being an adult. We wanted to grow up quick. We wanted to be men and have a beer. Well, now it comes with the package, and now we have to go to work. Oh, man, I know. I hear you. I'm glad that you have your fox buddy back. The fox hunting, it's going to, I think hopefully this coming weekend we'll have another one, so you get to participate, man. It's it's always fun, and I think this coming weekend the weather is going to be a little bit nicer, a tad cooler. I would say probably a couple of degrees cooler, but dude, and thanks again for the hookup with that battery, man. That thing is shiny. It's just looking for some mileage, so thanks again, dude. Back to you.
Yeah, my pleasure. When I switched over to the LiPos, I was like, what am I going to do with this big old boat anchor here? And then I realized yours was out, so it's like, I know what I'm going to do, and that's I'm glad it's got a good home. KF5RBT, back to net.
All right, Ken. Well, appreciate you calling in and checking in too. Glad that things are going well. Things are getting better. That's always a good thing. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Ken? If so, please call in with your name and call sign. All right. Nothing heard. Thanks again, Ken, for calling and checking in. Always appreciate it, and we will talk to you soon this week, I'm sure. Let me do one last call for check-in before we do the other stuff and close the net. If anybody wants to check into this net itself, please call in with your call sign and name.
This is AI5A, Rick, in South Austin.
All right. I am very happy to hear you, Rick, checking in. How is life treating you, man? Doing better? Doing good?
Yeah, it has its ups and downs, but yeah, been working on a couple of projects here and there. lately been just trying to clean up the apartment a little bit. It's kind of a mess, but working on that. Trying to get it a little bit more presentable here, and I've been playing with hue lights and smart lights. That's kind of my latest thing. So just been installing a bunch of those and just seeing, I don't know, making the apartment look weird. But yeah, they're fun to play with, and yeah, that's about it. I don't have a whole lot to report, but I just wanted to check in and say hello, and I guess test out my my UHF repeater, make sure it's still working. That's what I'm coming in on right now. So yeah, good to hear everyone in there, and thanks for running the net. I appreciate it. Send it back to you, AI5A.
All right, dude. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that things are going well, and I know cleaning sucks, but it's just again part of being an adult, and it's just we all have to do it. Did you get a chance to go fox hunting this weekend by any chance?
I did not. Just kind of stayed in this weekend and caught up on a couple things. So no, didn't make it out. Have to do one soon though, because I do enjoy going fox hunting. So yeah, soon.
Yeah, dude, I thought about you on this one because I ended up doing the entire thing using just my mobile rig, and then I just got out and pulled my HT, and that was it. I just body blocked it and found it real decently. I guess a decent amount of time, but thought about you because you're the master on that one, and just using the HT and finding those things. So we're getting a little bit better on that department, man. So I'm glad to hear that you're about to get started again. So yeah, hopefully if there's one next weekend, you'll get to play as well, man.
Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, I haven't gotten into the whole attenuator hardware and all that, but I mean that's a good skill to know too, and it's something I should try at some point. But no, I usually just like you said, just kind of once I get close, I kind of bring the HT with me, and then do attenuation by tuning off frequency, or looking at the harmonic frequency, or loosening the antennas. Another trick I use sometimes. So yeah, I've been able to make it work so far. But yeah, if there's one next week, possibly. If it's not too far out of the way. I usually try to do the ones that are kind of central and south. So haven't made it up to one of the north ones yet, but yeah, we shall see.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was using the HT, and I just moved it off frequency. I guess too lazy. I didn't want to. I have the stuff with me in the car, but I just didn't feel like putting it together. So I just turned it off frequency as I was getting really close, and that's how I found it. So thanks for sharing that knowledge when we were first talking about all of these things, man.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, I don't know if you made use of the harmonic frequency, but that's a trick that I love to use. And my dog in the background, not sure if you heard her, but she says hello as well.
Hey Rick, it's Mireya here. I was just about to ask you about Sky. I am so excited or enthusiastic to one day meet her. I know we talked about it briefly at the last outing. I loved my German Shepherd. He's in my heart. He's obviously passed on for many years now, but man, he's my first dog love. And I would love to meet Sky and hang out with her and give her a big, big hug, because I know she's going to feel just like my dog, Nico. So hopefully I can meet her, not just hear her on the radio. Maybe we can have a doggy date, and maybe go walk her or something.
Yeah, I would definitely be up for that. I am a little bit concerned with having her meet people, just because she gets protective, especially when I'm around. usually if I hand her to someone else, like if I take her to the kennel for boarding or whatnot, I can hand them the leash, and once I go away, she's fine, and she'll let them pet her or do whatever. But when I'm nearby, she gets very protective, and if she sees anyone, even just walking her outside here at the apartment, if she sees anyone, she'll kind of start barking and going a little crazy. So it makes me a little bit nervous to have her around people, but it's definitely something that I want to work on with her and get her more socialized. So if you are willing to just kind of keep that in mind, then I would absolutely be willing to have you meet her, and like I said, we'll just have to take it kind of slow because she gets pretty protective.
Totally get it, and I respect that jaw. Man, those German Shepherds, I really would never like for her jaw to get close to my arm or my fingers. So yeah, you just let me know whatever she feels comfortable with, and I would totally love to help with the socializing part. We don't have a dog anymore. I don't know if you heard, but our dog of many years, 17 years, died recently, and so every time I see a dog, my heart just goes thump, But we're not going to have one in a while, a very long while, I think. And so I'd love to, have another associate dog in my life, and I'd love for that to be Sky. So yeah, challenge is on. You just let me know, and I'm on board. Have a great night, Rick.
Yeah, sounds great, and sorry for your loss there. I did not hear that, but I've been through that before, and I know it's definitely not an easy thing. So sorry for the loss, but I definitely like I said, as long as you're willing to kind of go slow with warming up to her and letting her get to know you, and see how it goes. But yeah, I would definitely be up for that. So. Yeah, we'll be in touch. I would definitely appreciate that, and like I said, she definitely needs to be more socialized because I've had her for quite a long time, and before I moved to Austin, and didn't really have any friends when I lived in Ohio, to be honest. So she didn't really get to meet anyone. I never had anyone come over to the house or anything, so. She just never really got to meet people, and I think she's skeptical of most people that she meets. So would love to try to get her used to people and kind of break that a little bit. So yeah, definitely we'll be in touch. We'll make that happen. AI5A.
All right, Rick, I think we should probably. Oops, sorry about that. To make it easier, we'll probably meet somewhere that's outdoors, and that might make it easier. Not at your house or here, just somewhere. Just hang out and see how things work. But yeah, dude, more than happy to do that. Yeah, you have my contact info, and we should definitely get together, hang out, and whether it's Sky or not, but we should definitely hang out. But hopefully she can make it and start feeling more used to having people around. Man, I really appreciate you checking into this net. You knew about the net before we started the net, so it's really nice to hear you checking in. Thanks again for checking in, and I hope you have a gig-ass week, and I will talk to you soon as well. It's time to wrap up the net. It's getting close to that time. But before I do that, I am going to read you guys the list of the local nets that we have access to, nets. So I am going to read that for you now. We start Mondays with the Oak Hill Radio Club 6-meter net, hosted by our own Rick, AI5A. That's on 50.125 megahertz, that's upper side band, at 8 p.m. Again, on Mondays on the 50125 at 8 p.m. On Tuesdays, we have the Oak Hill South Side Simplex, hosted by Ray, K5BZI. That's on the 146.555 megahertz frequency, FM at 8 p.m. The 146.555 FM at 8 p.m. Also at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays, we have the DMR Sound Check Net, hosted by George, W5JDX, and Tommy, N5ZNO. That's on the 441.300 megahertz repeater. That's the DMR machine at 8 p.m. On Wednesday, the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Net, hosted during the summer break by Ernesto, KI5PZN, and Kyle, KA5D. That's the University Link Repeater System and the N5OAK Repeater System at 8 p.m. At 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, the Oak Hill CW Net, hosted by Pat, W5WTH. That's on 3.532 megahertz frequency at 7:30 p.m. At 8 p.m., the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net, hosted by a different operator every week. That's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. On Fridays, the Oak Hill Friday Night Trivia Net, hosted by Rusty, WZ5VBS. That's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 9 p.m. On Saturday, the Austin Amateur Radio Club Elmer's Net, hosted by Jeff, N5NW, on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. At 9 p.m., the 220 megahertz Guys Original Preservation Net, hosted by Steve, KB9DSQ. That's on the 224.100 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. On Sundays, there's a bunch of stuff happening. The Austin Amateur Radio Club 10-meter net, hosted by Rod, W5NDS, on the 28.410 megahertz frequency of the sideband at 3 p.m. At 7 p.m., the Travis County Area's weekly net, that's on the 147.360 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. At 7:30 p.m., this one, the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, and Mireya, KI5SYX, on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system at 7:30 on Sundays. At 9 p.m. on Sundays, the Austin Amateur Radio Club SWAT Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW, on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m.
Thank you for joining us tonight on the Weekend Wind Down Net. We hope that even if your weekend was a bust, and definitely if it was a blast, that we all keep the momentum, focus on the positive, and here's to a great start to your week.
I'd like to thank Kyle, KA5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club for letting us use their repeater systems. Please visit the University Link Repeater Systems website to learn more. That's ka5d.com. To learn more about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, including how to become a member, please visit n5oak.org. I'm Ernesto, KI5PZN, using the 224.100 repeater.
And Mireya, KI5SYX, using the 441.325 repeater. And from our QTH in East Austin, 73. And thanks again for participating and listening tonight. This system is now returned to regular amateur use.